Guys, let's fit this absolutely beautiful radiator on this wall, get it piped up and get it steaming hot. Subscribe, like, and hold tight. Let's do this. So then guys, here's the job. And it's not an easy one. Well, it is a bit easy. It's just a bit skullduggery really. So I've been clearing up this sort of pipework all behind here. Unfortunately, I can't really do much with the underfloor heating sweep. What used to be here was a toilet, which is why those pipes sort of swept around there. And also the toilet was in the way, so it was quite difficult to get in there and actually sort of do any of the pipework when it went in. Some of this I did. Our two flow and returns coming down here and these two pipes here. I actually did a pipe bending video and I'm going to leave you a link on the screen to click that at the end of this video if you want to check out how I did it. But for now, let's watch this one here. So we've got these two pipes coming down here. These two heating pipes are valved off. So now I've got myself into a position with this job where the heating system is valved off, but it's all full. So when I get this radiator piped in, all I need to do is turn those two valves on and then just pressure test the pipework that I've got going to the radiator. So now let's describe the pipework that I'm going to be doing. Have a look at this. So we've got our two pipes coming down here and then we've got two little 10 mils just sticking out. They've got a bit of dust on them. And they come down here. Now the reason I'm doing this in 10 mil, I wouldn't usually pipe a radiator up in 10 mil. But firstly, we are actually going, if you see these are T's, that goes to the radiator in the kitchen, and therefore splitting off this in 10 mil and then balancing these out properly will make them work perfectly fine. But the reason I'm going in 10 mil is actually I've got to find a way of hiding these pipes inside this wall here in a chase. Then I've got to run them through there and then punch through the wall up there and then out at height here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hang this radiator exactly where I want it, so that I know exactly where the holes are going to go through. I can drill those through now, and then I've got my start point and my end point for my pipework and my chases. So I've done a lot of videos on hanging radiators before. Most of them have like straight edges on them. This one hasn't. So let's have a look at the back of it. So we've got fixing points kind of zigzagging all the way up. I don't really know how I'm going to do this. So the first thing we do is just whip the radiator out of the way, and I want to decide exactly where my radiator is going to go when it comes to tolerances that I set myself. And what I mean by that is, do I want the radiator to be central on this wall? Yes, I do. Do I want the radiator to be a certain height above the ground? Yes, I do. So I'm going to mark those out first. You're going to notice that we've actually got a thermostat on here, thermostat, so I'm going to move that off the wall. So first things first is I'm going to get my centre, just make a tiny, tiny, tiny mark there. This is the Bosch GCL 250G. You can buy all the tools that I use in our Amazon store. So now we've got that there, I think what I'm going to do is, I'm actually just going to have to sort of stand the radiator up against the wall, hold it where I want it, and get it so I know for a fact that I want my radiator to be about this high up off the ground. And I think what I'm going to have to do is just hold this like that, so these bits are on the centre. So I'm just going to get these in. Then I've got some Loctite 55 on here, which was what I always use for threads that you don't want to move. I mean, obviously we don't want any threads to move, but a lot of people would use PTFE on this, and that's not really the right thing. We just use our Rothenberger radiator spanner to tighten those in. Now the reason you should do this now is because there's only 3 brackets holding this on the wall, and if you're going to start putting this sort of force on those brackets by tightening this up when it's actually on the wall, you might end up with a little bit of a leak, a little bit of a problem. There you go. These are great, these things. As you can see, I've had this in my bag for donkey's years, but they make doing work on radiators so much easier. The tools that you use in a job are the things that really matter. And look, you see that splodged out, whatever it doesn't need to use. Right, so now I need my glamorous assistant, my darling wife, who is about to go into the gym. And is not very happy about doing this on a Sunday. But then again, I'm the one doing this on a Sunday. What I want you to do, Emily, is when I've got this up on the wall in the position, just want you to draw a square, or a top and a bottom and a side, so I know where these are.
Just draw around it.
Yeah.
Basically.
Now I know what you're thinking, the beautiful moment between husband and wife when they attempt to hang one of the most difficult bloody radiators ever. It's difficult because there isn't just 4 corners that are straight away from each other. So what I've done, we've got 2 straight bits here that we've already just knocked in with the laser level. We just pop them in there like so. Look, this here does not fit down this hole. I mean, what the hell is that all about? That is just utterly ridiculous, that is. Right, so I've got some lock-in washers here that I'm going to have to use instead. They're not 100% the right thing to use, but They'll allow me to have the slip that I need to tighten this up nicely. Now I'm making sure that my slot for the tightening up bit in a second or two is at the bottom because that's how I do it. Get my backhoe set. Comes with me everywhere this set does. It's always in my hand tools. It's very handy for this sort of job where you just want to tighten up a little baby. An absolutely fantastic set of tools here, guys. It's not the only tool that slips perfectly into a box. This one fits into my toolbox very nicely. Right, just going to hang the radiator on here a little bit now. Right, just going to get this last one in, which actually is going to come across slightly. Just about a couple of mil. Lovely. Well, that went in nice and easily. Right, I'm just going to get my bubble on this side so I can make sure the radiator is actually hanging off the wall level as well. That is so cool! I can't wait to get this done now, this job. So these little bits just lock this radiator in the position that we want it to be in. So that's what I've just been putting in there. Those little screws there, just lock that in nicely. Right, now we get these two babies in. Now hopefully you can understand why we put the spigots into the radiator first. Like I said, if we started tightening them up real hard now, it's going to put quite a lot of stress on those three little brackets holding the radiator to the wall. Now I'm going to come out of this radiator in 10mm because I just don't want to like smash massive holes through here. We've got to go to 10mm anyway. I don't really want to do the reduction in the wall or anything like that. I want everything to be 10mm as we're going through the wall and everything. We use these little things here. Now they can be problematic. Make sure you use plenty of paste when you do these. I mean really, you know, if you do these properly you should find it's quite an easy process. But sometimes you never know. The idea is we've got an olive in there, these two compressions on here, and as we tighten this nut up, in lieu of our 15mm olive in here, that will compress onto our 10mm pipe and allow us to get a watertight seal. But before we do that, we're going to get our hole through the wall. What I love about these things, you can just use them for absolutely everything. This could just be me, but I usually pilot with a smaller drill first through a wall and then get bigger and bigger, obviously leaving plenty of clearance around my pipe for the final hole size, baby. What I'm going to have to do is put this in so it's installed, then I'll get my measurement for how far back I cut the pipe when we do the chase on the other side, and then we'll have to take it all out again, cut it back, get our elbows soldered on, all that. When you're sort of going through a wall and you're trying to hide your pipes in the wall, there's a lot of extra considerations and things you've got to do. There might be a few people who've got ethical reasons for not putting a pipe in the wall. Maybe it offends you or something, but well actually I don't really care. So yeah, how this works, look, so we've got our 15mm nut on here, we've got like a collar on there, and that's got a taper in it. The olive sits into that taper, and then there's a receiving piece that also has a taper in it, and that sits in there like that, and then that all gets bitten up and clamped up together when it gets tightened up. Then a nice little 90 like that, and then tiny little bit of gaffer over the end of the pipe as we feed it through. Prevents us getting any dust in the pipe. Right, so I'm just going to lightly nip this up now. So I'm nipping these up now, and I'm just going to make up the other valve and the pipe work and everything for that now as well. Might as well get all that in. But we're nipping up, and then I'm going to get everything drilled out next door. But a really important aspect of making sure you don't have leaks on compression fittings is often nipping up, then stripping the fitting down, and then using some sort of jointing compound to bulletproof that fitting. So now we cut these back, but also what we're going to do is just pop a little bit of gaffer tape around the pipe itself to act as a sleeve as it goes through the wall. Now everything gets pasted. So there we go, they're both in now, look at that, lovely. And now we just make a nice little chase. We're lucky here actually because we've got a dot and dab wall that gives us quite an easy sort of area to chase out, especially that's why the old 10 mils going in, isn't it? Also at this time I proved that men can multitask by also doing a live stream on my mobile phone. So if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, you might get the odd live stream coming up. Right then gang, so I'm going to push these back further in a minute and then get those properly foamed back, and you'll see that finished article in another video. Yeah, we're in down there now, as you can see. 10 mil is the sort of pipework that doesn't look stunning or anything like that. But what I'm going to do now is turn these two valves on. By the way, I did a little video on these sets here, how to do sets like that, which I think you're going to like. But I'm going to turn these on now and we'll just pressure test and make sure she works okay. When this is turned on, I'm going to get the thermal camera and test how this gets hot. I really am interested to see how that happens. Right, so moment of truth. Let's just open one of these up. We'll just trickle in a bit of pressure. And also I'm just going to turn the heating on, which I can do quickly from here. Right then guys, I'm just going to open this very lightly. There we go, water there. Right, and then open this vent up. Huh? We're getting warm. Right, so that's going to there. That's going up here. Into here now. I'm mesmerised by this thing. So if you guys can see that. Oh my god, look at it. Snaking up there. That is amazing, isn't it? Like, I just want you to see that, how that is getting warm. That is incredible. So, just going to vent this out. So we're up to here. Let's just get this opened up, vent it out. As you know, a good job's never over until you've done a nice little bit of clearing up and then got out the best, most funnest part of every little job, get a bit of fixer foam out. So we're fixer foaming up here, just getting around these. These walls are going to get tiled, so the fixer foam will allow us to have our pipes nicely protected as well. They're not going to move. It will lend a little bit of insulation as well. As you can see, just making good my holes. Now let's fast forward a few days, guys. So guys, it's a few days later and look, everything's getting tiled up. We're really getting on with this job. The pipes are there. As you can see, we're going to be putting some skirting along here. So I just thought I'd pop a bit up so you can see how those pipes are going to get hidden. Also, the floor has come up quite a long way, so they're really tucked down there nicely out of the way. Tiled over that. You wouldn't believe, like obviously we know there's that little bit section there, but it's totally fine, all bombed in there like that. The radiator looks amazing. People come in, they've already commented and they've gone, oh, look at that lovely radiator there. What's that? Lovely. So if you want to get the radiator, I'll leave links to that below. Everything that I'm doing in this toilet here, all that I have been filming for the channel, okay? So you'll be able to watch that on the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I think you're going to want to click on this video here now because it's an absolutely brilliant video that you're going to love so much. So don't go anywhere, click and watch this video here and I'll see you in the next video. Subscribe, like and comment and hold tight.